1999 Miata.
I literally got this yesterday.
Exactly. Looks like the bumper's little. Yeah. Well, we got some wheels here. We got looks like the BBS's, right? BBS in the front.
Yeah, S-Drive is on the front.
Okay.
Some tire tread. I'm running 30 psi on the front.
And on the rears here, what tires do we got on the rears? Looks like
these are 14-inch Falcon Zennies.
Okay.
The radius of both setups is about the same, just because of the sidewall difference for these Zennies. I've been used to shitty setups my whole life, so 15s and 14s it's not too bad for me.
Looks like zip tied on headlights. Any plans to do any crazy engine mods?
No engine mods. No, thank you.
No.
We close this and say you are running fine. Let's get in the car real quick.
Yeah, let's do that. We're on the technical road. And then it goes to another road. Luckily enough, where the location we are, we have a lot of roads that are connected to each other, so it gives you a broad spectrum of what do you want. Do you want technicals? Do you want medium? Do you want high speeds? Which is really nice to have, especially during this. And it looks like, of course, we've got a lot of daytime people here. Wow, the NB chassis is very stiff compared to the NA. I know you've driven personally an NA chassis 1.8 as well. What's the biggest difference between the two?
Stability.
Stability?
That just tells the whole story. Whether it's braking, cornering, it feels way more planted than my NA.
This road seems to be pretty popular with sports cars, which is nice for daytime chasing.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, do you ever get like sports cars here and there that you chase?
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, the other week, there's a couple RSXs out here. And of course, the daily S2000 people, you always see those, especially on the twisties.
Wow.
As you can see, prime example of motorcycles actually mopping faster than the cars. Would you say that's probably a big flaw with any, newcomers coming to the canyon scene, as in they only, they get an expensive car, I'd say maybe a newer BMW, for example, or Subaru, for example, and like we were talking about with the electronic systems, do you think that's a disadvantage, or do you think it's good to start with that platform? Because I know we drive personally cars that are very budget oriented, mostly older cars as well.
Start with a shit box.
Yeah.
Start with the car that runs and gives you the most seat time. As someone who's just starting out, you don't need a fancy car. That's going to hinder your progress, I would say.
Yeah, progress as a driver. I agree for sure. Low power, and don't do too many upgrades, fast. Don't, drive it stock. That's why I think, Miata is such a great platform to learn with. But definitely, wow, this car actually has some really great acceleration compared to, a 1.6 engine. I know there's not too much of a difference, but
oh, it's a huge difference. You see the difference once you're chasing someone.
Yeah. Once you're definitely chasing Miata versus Miata, the 1.8 smokes it most of the time. Looks like we're on more of an open section. We just completed the technical section, and looks like the Miata is still accelerating both things. Basically, nickname a go-kart for what it is.
Very steady braking, even under the threshold.
Yeah, it looks like we can already smell, those stock brake pads that we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, I think those were the tires locking up actually.
Very nice speed through the corners here. Wow.
It's interesting because you can really feel where the front tires are starting to lose grip. And
yeah.
It gives you a very obvious warning, and I know that's more of a tire characteristic than the chassis, but it's still something good to point out. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. The Miata as a whole too, basically what I was just saying is it's a go-kart, very planted, but especially with these, corners that you're losing grip in, like you were talking about with inducing oversteer with the throttle, it's very predictable. It's not snappy like an S2000. I personally rode in one the other night, and it was very snappy with just giving a little bit of throttle, and pretty hard to actually correct compared to the Miata, which is why, once again, it's such a great platform to learn with. As you can see, we're pretty much going at maybe 60-70% here, single lane, and obviously looking for hazards. But it's still, you can have a blast with this chassis, which is awesome.
It is. We're almost at the end of the run.
Yeah, this is about the end of the course that we do here.
Yeah, you're
Opens
slow
to
a lot. Know where to slow down.
It's very important to respect where you can speed, where you can't speed. What do you rate this road as compared to maybe some of the other roads out of a different region that are close to this?
I would rate this. I used to not like it because of how sketch the portion that we don't run is.
Yeah.
But, you know, this portion, it's beautiful. It's, you know, very forgiving, but still teaches you the limits of the car. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it's a solid beat.
Well, let's stop talking. We'll just get that raw footage of driving.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And if you do the commentary because you're not the driver.
Will do. Will do.
I'm a non-local, but that decreasing radius is something that I surely remember.
Yeah, the decreasing radius turns on this course is definitely something. Luckily, there's yellow signs telling you that it is sometimes a decreasing radius turn, which is helpful.
Yes, thank you. The government is looking for us.
The government is helping us.
That was like very bad wording.
Wow, you can really feel the tire limit here. It's like just barely losing grip in the rear, but still, of course, has that grip level. Nice maintaining that. As you can hear, maybe the tires in the back there, another decreasing radius turn is happening here, but still just planted, full planted. Not a lot of body roll for what it is, with no upgrades or anything like that, which is very impressive for the time. Nice back-to-back turns, left, right, chicanes. Got off-cambered and cambered turns, so this course really does have quite a bit of everything if you really know how to utilize the road here. It opens up to a nice straight, really utilize the power. Of course, you do have to be cautious with upcoming turn in the downhill sector with utilizing your brake pads.
And also this part.
And of course, random people walking on the road.
Yeah, it's just like one of the big things.
And then this is where it changes to a nice technical section, back to back here.
Where the Miata is meant.
Where the Miata accelerates at, definitely. Nice weight transfer with the turns here. Very impressive. You're really utilizing the camber here to help maintain the grip too. And more random people just walking on the road, no big deal. That happens. Another nice D3 passed by. How would you compare this to maybe a newer Civic?
A newer Civic? Like how new?
Maybe like 2011 and up?
Oh.
Would you say this car could compete with it, or would you say the Civic has a distinct advantage with, you know, obviously the time period increasing with its all stability control and everything else?
For the Miata to be, people hold on, walking on the road again.
Yep.
Okay. For the Miata to have an advantage, it would need to be on a road just slightly more technical than this, more of those speed corners, and then it would have the advantage.
Okay.
So there is a threshold.
Now, obviously, the price range too, compared to those, is something.
Hugely different price range.
Yeah.
Yeah, car for car, I feel like a 2011 plus SI would
Smoke the Miata, yeah.
it would be a close one potentially, but I think it has the upper hand.
Indeed.
People like it. There's like this cliche that power doesn't matter on the canyons and all that. It matters.
It definitely matters a bit, depending on the course too, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, if you have, a 60 horsepower, Civic compared to obviously a newer Subaru, just for, someone really looking to find a cheap car who wants to go and really learn driving technique. If that's, track driving, a lot of track drivers still do back roads.
That's true. Not at a very fast pace.
Not a fast pace as, some other drivers out here, but it's good to see that maybe they do still come out here and bring their cars too, which is always nice to see. Obviously, their car is oriented towards the track, so really low tread wear tires, very nice suspension, etc.
And to be fair, canyon driving, like there's like a different type of skill set that's needed for it. So, you know,
Indeed.
comparing them against specialists is not a very fair game, especially considering, you know, if we went on track to their home course, we wouldn't do so hot either.
Yeah.
And percentage-wise, of course.
Percentage-wise, yep. Nice back to just this technical road that we, that's branched right off to the other one that we just did. Really tight hairpins, probably hard to see in the video how tight this actually is, but full 90 degrees. Wrap around, nice to an open straight on an uphill. And Miata's still accelerating quite well. Well, how do you figure this car compared to the NA? Would you say that the NB is definitely something that you like a lot better? Or would you say that the NA is something that, you know, is something still true to your heart?
I would go back to the NA here and there. It's a better practice car.
Would you say this car is more of a competition car for your personal use?
More of a competition car. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Just because we need to be doing the some battles tonight. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Daytime is obviously a lot different.
Yeah, I would. If I was only filming for daytime, you'd be seeing the NA right now. But
oh, it looks like one of boys left. But
really
well, very nice driving.
Oh, thank you.
Glad to see a lot of hazards. You know, with bikers. You know,
a
and
lot
whatnot.
of just people on the road.
A lot of people walking on the road, which is a little weird.